In the year 2147, the starship Aether slipped away from Earth's final orbital dock like a whisper, leaving a crowded room. She wasn't the largest vessel humanity had ever built, nor the fastest, but she was the first designed to never come home. Captain Mira Kane stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind her back, watching the blue marble shrink until it was just another bright point among billions. The crew, 16 souls chosen not for their obedience, but for their refusal to stay still, called her the last romantic. She didn't deny it. Their mission had no name in the official logs, only a catalog number, X0. Explore until there is nothing left to explore, or until the ship forgets why it left. The drive core hummed with zero-point energy harvested from the vacuum itself, theoretically infinite. In practice, everything has limits, even eternity. Years folded into decades as Aether threaded between suns. They catalogued ringed gas giants with diamond rains, ice worlds etched in fractal canyons, and a pulsar whose rotation sang in perfect hexadecimal. Each discovery felt smaller than the last, as if the universe were running out of surprises. Then, in the shadow of a nameless red dwarf, catalogued only as DR7742, they found the anomaly. A planet the size of Mars, orbiting so close, its surface glowed cherry red from tidal stress. But it wasn't the heat that stopped Mira's breath. It was the light. The entire night side pulsed with slow, deliberate patterns, blues and violets rippling like breath across an ocean of living crystal. Not random bioluminescence, not geothermal vents. Language. They named the world Resonance because every scan returned, its own signal reflected back, slightly altered, as though the planet were listening and politely replying. Mira took the first lander down herself. No weapons, just a recorder, a floodlight, and the irrational hope that curiosity still meant something out here. The surface was warm glass under her boots, fractured into hexagonal plates that chimed faintly when she stepped. She knelt and placed her gloved palm against one. The violet pulse raced toward her hand, then paused, waited. She spoke, voice thin through the helmet. "Hello?" The glow beneath her fingers brightened, then dimmed in a pattern she recognized after a startled second. The exact waveform of her own voice, played back in light, not mimicry. Translation. For 17 hours she sat there, speaking. First words, then memories, then questions without answers. The planet answered in color and rhythm, building a grammar of light that the ship's linguists would spend the next subjective century decoding. It wasn't intelligent in any way humans understood. It was the memory of a long-dead civilization that had encoded itself into the crust before their star began to swell. Every question humanity had ever asked the dark was stored there, answered in echoes of forgotten voices. Every dream of first contact was already fulfilled, millennia too late. Mira wept inside her helmet, not from sorrow, but from the sudden unbearable weight of being witnessed. When she finally stood to leave, the surface beneath her boots flared once more, brighter than before. A final message, simple enough that even a tired human heart could understand it. Stay. She looked up. The twin moons of resonance hung low, casting silver across the glowing plain. Somewhere above, Aether waited, patient as stone. Mira touched the comms. "Bridge, this is Kane. We're not leaving. Static." Then the soft voice of her first officer, Lieutenant Rowan Hale. "Understood, Captain. We'll reconfigure for orbit. Welcome home." They never transmitted the full archive back to Earth. Some things are too heavy to carry across light years. Instead, they became the bridge between a dying world and a species still learning how to listen. And on quiet nights, when the red dwarf painted the hull crimson, Mira would sit by a viewport and watch the slow conversation continue below. Light answering light, question answering question, until even silence felt like part of the dialogue. The universe, it turned out, had been waiting for someone to finally say hello back.